and welcome to episode 108 of the Graceful Tangle podcast. I'm Amy Kate. Thank you so very much for joining me today. As always, I have quite a few things to share with you guys today, and I'm excited to just hop right into it. But first, be sure to check out all of the links in the description box below. I have show notes available for this episode, and you can also find pattern shop links, social media platforms. We have a make-along going right now for all of the dishcloths you feel so inclined to make throughout 2022. Let's see what else is down there. I have a Facebook group for the Graceful Tangle, like all of the projects that you're making, everything that you have knit or crocheted or created using another art. I want to see it, so definitely join that Facebook group and join the community over there. Yeah, I think that's it. And there's links down there to like some specific things that I'm talking about today as well. But that area is always such a good place for information, so definitely check it out. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I would love to have you join this community. I have so many fun things planned, and I am so excited for you to be a part of them. Today is Saturday, June 4th. I remembered. It is so hard to keep track of days this time of year. But it is currently Saturday. It's a gorgeous day outside, which makes for very good lighting for filming purposes, which I always appreciate. But yeah, grab a project, grab a fun beverage. I have some water over here so that I don't, become dehydrated or something from talking so much, because it happens almost every single episode. So anyways, grab a fun beverage, grab an amazing project, and enjoy the podcast. Alrighty, so let's hop into it with some finished objects, because I do have a few this week. Most of them are actually housed in my first finished object right now. So this bag, I finally finished it. This is the, I believe it's pronounced Kensington, tote bag from Tony of TL Yarn Crafts. This is a Tunisian crochet bag. It was so much fun to make. Took me quite a bit longer than expected, but that is just, my own fault, making a bunch of things along with this bag. It's a super quick project. If it's the only thing you're working on, you can easily finish it in just a couple days. However, mine drug on for a few weeks, but that's totally okay. Anyways, I had so much fun making this. The construction is amazing and so simple to follow along with. Last week I shared how I had made a mistake on one of the handles. It was like totally off-centered. I just did too many stitches on one side, and that resulted in less stitches on the other. Again, totally my fault. The pattern is flawless, but I was able to go back and fix that. So now it is amazing. I love it. I'm going to be using this as a work in progress bag, at least for now. Maybe that'll change in the future, but that's my plans for it right now. And yeah, it is going super great. I love making it. I'm excited to use it. It was a really fun project. And then, and the yarn that I use, I guess I should mention that. I use We Crochet Big O. I use Billow and Big O so many times, and I get them mixed up every single time. But anyways, this is Big O, 100%, I believe, superwash wool. It's a 2-ply, really squishy yarn. I love it so much. I am itching to knit or crochet a full blanket in this yarn, so that will definitely be happening this fall. I'm really excited for that project when the time comes for it. But anyways, I had a lot of fun with this project. And then inside I have my next few finished objects. So this past weekend I released a new dishcloth pattern called the Misty Morning Dishcloth. This uses the same stitch pattern as the Misty Morning Throw, which I designed, I think it was in 2020. And I just love this stitch pattern. I did a corner-to-corner construction, which is the same way that the throw is designed, and it just works so well for this stitch pattern. It was a lot of fun to make, and I hope that you guys are enjoying the pattern. If you haven't already checked it out, be sure to do so, because you can find it for free on the blog and as a full step-by-step video tutorial here on the YouTube channel. But you can also find it as a PDF on Etsy and Ravelry, if that's what you prefer. So I try to have the patterns on as many platforms as I can, and I hope that helps you out. But yes, I made quite a few samples before I released their pattern. So let me see if I can dig them all out here. And then there's one more somewhere right here. So I made five of these dishcloths before pattern release day. Just kind of, I made 3 to like complete a full set. I like to give dishcloths either as a set of 3 or as like one dishcloth and one scrubby. That's just kind of how I like to do it, but obviously you don't have to do it that way. But anyway, so I made the full set, and then I made, this one was this one does not count. This was the first, or one of the first samples that I made, and I did not like how the edges ended up looking, so I changed some things around. Anyway, and then I made the full set, and then I made one more using this Dishy twist. So here's the first one. You can obviously barely see the actual stitch pattern because the yarn is so crazy, but I really, really like the way the Dishy twist looks. I believe this is the colorway Kanai. And then I made this full set in these 3 colors. So again, all of this is Crochet Dishy. It is my favorite 100% cotton yarn for dishcloths, washcloths, placemats. Everything that you would use in the home or in the kitchen that needs to be very durable and machine washable and dryable. Dryable is not a word. That you can wash and dry it in those appliances. Anyway, I just really, really like it. It's color fast. The colors last forever. I really, really like Dishy. I could go on and on about it, but I used 3 colors obviously for this set. This green is Jade. And then this really pretty purple, I've used it many times before, is called Lilac Mist. And then this deep gray is called Ash. And yeah, I really like the look of these 3 together. I wasn't sure. Honestly, I designed and released the Knoll dishcloth a few weeks ago now. And I loved the color combination that I did for that set so much. And so I was kind of bummed that I couldn't do it again for pattern picture purposes. It was so sad. So I'm going to have to peruse the website and figure out what colors look really good together. But anyways, there's endless possibilities, I'm sure. So yes, I made all of those dishcloths. Again, be sure to check that pattern out if you haven't already. I also, last week, released the Efficient Wrap. So I've talked about that pattern for the past few weeks. It is now released and out in the world. I hope that you guys are loving that pattern. Just like the dishcloth, you can find that for free on the blog as well. And then as a paid PDF in my Ravelry and Etsy shops. But thank you so much for all of the love on both of those patterns. I am so, so grateful for just successful release days and y'all's continued support. It means so, so much. Anyway, so that is it for finished objects. I do have one more to share, but it is a design that has not yet been released, so I'll save that for a little bit later. I also do not have any works in progress on the hook or needles right now that aren't designs, so we're just going to go ahead and skip over that section and talk about quite a few designs that I'm currently working on. So I am working on so many things right now, but I'm going to start with a couple of pairs of socks. Okay, so the first design, this one is so close to being complete. The pattern is coming out very soon, later this month, and they just turned out so, so good. So I collaborated with a yarn shop in Fairhope, Alabama, which is south of me, called Southern Twist Yarns, and I am using a yarn that they carry in their shop. It is by Life in the Long Grass, which you can find her yarn elsewhere as well. I believe the owner of Life in the Long Grass Yarns, probably does wholesale with Southern Twist Yarns, so that is how I am using it. Anyway, this is her Moonsock base in the colorway Tree Bark, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I love this colorway so much, and I feel like it made a gorgeous pair of socks. But here is a close-up of this finished pair. So it is a broken rib cuff, and then this really fun slip-stitched rib texture for the front, the leg, and then the front of the foot. And then the second half of the foot is stockinette, afterthought heel, toe, of course. Instructions are provided in the pattern if you would like to substitute your own heel, so don't be intimidated by the afterthought heel. I do have tutorials for it here on the channel, so don't be scared to try it, but if it's not what you prefer, then there are instructions to substitute it, of course. But yeah, I love how these turned out. They were so much fun to knit on. And I am really looking forward to releasing the pattern, and I hope that you guys are excited about it. So stay tuned for that because it will be coming out later this month. And then speaking of sock designs, I am currently working on 2 more. The first, I'm updating my Success Socks pattern, which is my basic vanilla sock recipe. It's free on my platforms. And I want to just kind of give that pattern a facelift, update it a little bit, change the layout slightly to match my most recent sock designs, and just kind of give it a facelift, give it a little bit of a new look. So I'm making a new pair of socks to use for like the cover photo and added pattern pictures, and I chose this yarn. This is Ruby and Rose's yarn, and I don't have the label with me right now, but I believe it's called Summer Nights. I think that's right. Anyway, it is absolutely gorgeous. It's so fun and just bright and cheerful and spunky. I absolutely love all of the speckles. It's also on a really, really pretty base. Like, it's mostly white, but it definitely has a lot of like a light mint or sage green, and I think it is so beautiful. I am just loving this yarn. And this is the second sock. I don't know if I have the first one. Oh, I do. Yay. I'm so glad. I have not knit the heel yet, but here's the first sock without the heel. Again, these have an afterthought heel as well, but instructions are provided if you would like to substitute that. It's also kind of wonky because it's been in my bin for a few days now, but here's the first sock, so it gives you a little close-up of those colors. So, so pretty. And then here's the second one. So I'm cruising right along. I'm over halfway done with the foot, I think, and then I will just knit both of the heels. Lately I've kind of been saving the heels for last, like I knit both socks and then add the heels later, and it's working well, so I think I'll kind of stay in that for a little bit longer. I don't know, I really like having like one sock completely done and then knitting the second, but at the same time I don't really care. So anyways, it's been fun, a little more mindless I think, to just go ahead and start the second one instead of, you know, picking up and knitting the heel and all of that. But yeah, these are going really well. This one, okay, so funny story. My siblings and I are currently watching a show called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You've probably heard of it, but if not, it is by Marvel, so it's kind of like alongside the Marvel movies. There's definitely been some connections, but like for example, we have watched all of the Marvel movies. Well, we haven't watched like the most recent. I think a new Doctor Strange just came out. We haven't seen that one, but previously we've seen all of the Marvel movies, and we're watching the like TV show after that. But anyways, it has been so fun to watch it with all of them. However, the episodes that we have watched the past couple of days have been a little bit more intense. Like, it was like the end of a season, and so, you know, just very action packed. And this usually does not happen to me, but you can tell, like, up at the top of the sock here, like, do you see how it's like kind of loose and a little bit relaxed, and then it just like goes in, and it is so much tighter. Like, my gauge got so much tighter while I was watching that show and knitting. It was hilarious. But yeah, it's totally, like, I'm not worried about it at all. I'm just going to put them on the sock buffers for, like, a day or so after they're done, and that will not be noticeable. But I just think it's kind of hilarious because that doesn't typically happen. It's very easy, typically, to just stay with a smooth, even gauge throughout the project. So it was obviously a very intense moment. Very many intense moments in the show, but it's been very enjoyable to watch, for sure. Okay, and then one more sock project. I am working on these alongside Eden of Crafting Click and Made. She sent me this sock set a little while ago as a gift, and I am creating a new sock design with them, and absolutely loving it. So this is her Cherries and Caramel set. Here is the main skein, or the main color. So pretty. Oh my goodness, so pretty. And then this is the coordinating mini. So I'm going to be using this for the heels of the socks. And this is the color Caramel. So Cherries and Caramel, it goes so perfectly. And I have finished the first sock minus the heel. So here is the stitch pattern. I did like a mock cable pattern for the front of the sock, and I just really like the way that it looks. I think you can see it very well, even though it's a variegated yarn, which I'm really happy about. These are also more like ankle socks, so they have a 15 round cuff. I think, is it just 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. 8, 9, 10. I think it's about 15. I'll have to count that to be certain, but I'm pretty sure it's a 15 round cuff and then about a 16 round leg, and then I go into the foot. So, you know, not super duper short ankle, but definitely classify as ankle socks, and I really like that. I love ankle socks, and they're going to be so cute. So I'm excited to make the second one this week and finish that up. That pattern will be coming out in July, probably early July is my plan right now. So yes, very exciting. So many designs I'm working on lately. And I'm not done. I have 2 blankets to share with you guys. Okay, so the first one, I wish I had a new skein of this yarn over here to show you, but I don't. So this is Knit Picks Brava Tweed in the colorway Stratus. So I've talked about Brava Tweed before. It is a pretty new yarn to them, but I have already used it a couple of times because I am obsessed with it. I love Brava. It's my favorite acrylic that I have found, at least so far. And definitely that I have used from Knit Picks or We Crochet. And when they launched a tweed line, I was stoked because I love tweed. And so it was basically combining 2 of my favorite yarns, which is incredibly exciting. So anyway, I am using the colorway Stratus, which is a just really beautiful, well, I'm making this project for my brother, so I don't know if I should call this beautiful or handsome or what, but it is a very nice looking yarn color. I am fully enjoying it. It's a really just like a standard medium gray, but it's got flecks of like brown and khaki and black. I just really like it. It's very gender neutral. I think it would look so cute as like matching sweaters for, you know, husband and wife or brother and sister or something like that. I think that would be such a fun idea. But I'm using it to make a blanket for my brother for his birthday. And there's, you know, endless other things that you could use it for as well. But here's the blanket so far. So I have not done much work at all. I spent the majority of my time for this project this week just writing the pattern, figuring out the stitch pattern, doing the math to figure out the like appropriate stitch count and all of that stuff. But I have finished the bottom hem, which is just this girdle section. And it's all squished up on the needles because that's just how I roll apparently. But here's what I have so far. So it's literally just a whole bunch of girdle stitch. I am using the same stitch pattern as I did for the striker socks, which is a pattern that I designed in honor of him for his birthday. Can I remember what year that was? I think it was 2021. I think it was last year. So I designed those socks for him, and so this is going to kind of go in, like, you know, the same arena as that, for lack of a better phrase. It's going to use the same stitch pattern, just in, like, worsted weight yarn versus fingering and a blanket instead of socks. So a very different project, very, like, much more time consuming. But I think it's going to look so good. I've done some swatches. It looks amazing. I'm really excited to make some good progress on that and share it with you along the way. His birthday is July 11th, so I have a month and about 7 days to get that blanket done, which is a huge commitment. I mean, it's worsted weight yarn, it's size 8 needles. It's going to be 50 inches by 60 inches in size. So it is a big deal. It's a big project. I'm really hoping that I can get it done. I think I can. I'm just concerned because it is definitely not the only project that I can work on right now. And I have school and work and everything else that's involved in summer stuff. So it's a very busy time to try to make a full blanket in a month. But I'm going to try. I am determined to get it done. I don't want it to be late. Like, I want it to be on time. And then hopefully that pattern will be released after his birthday. So later in July, I think. But I'm really excited about it. It's going great so far, and I am so eager to see it grow. Okay, so next up, and the last design that I have to share with you this week is a second blanket. I have no business starting 2 blankets at once, none at all. This one is going to be much more long-term than the knitted one, so I kind of have that to fall back on. But honestly, I just could not wait any longer to start this project. I have been planning a design with this yarn literally since Christmas. I received it as a gift. And I am just so excited to finally be doing that. So this is another blanket. Here's what I have so far. I am not sure on a name yet, but I'm just kind of calling it in my mind with a wave blanket because it's very wavy. It's so pretty already. I am so excited about this project. I am using 3 different colors of Yarn Bee Tweed Indeed. Let me find a new skein of the green one to show you. So here is the palette that I am using. I love all these colors together. I think it's such a beautiful combination. So this pink is my favorite of the three. It's called Blush Indeed. And this is what it looks like up close. And then we have, it would be Tweed Indeed again. It's all that same base, Grape Tweed, which is a really nice purple. And then last but not least, Ocean Tweed, which is a really pretty kind of greenish blue color. All tweedy, all beautiful. The, let's see, you get 100 grams or 180 yards, 46% cotton and 46% acetate, 46% cotton, 6% viscose, 2% polyester. I think that math is right. Yes. Yes, it's right. Okay. Anyways, I don't know why it was so hard for me to figure all of that out, but anyways, that is the base. It's so soft. Like, it's almost, I think the acetate is probably supposed to mimic silk. That's kind of what it feels like. But anyways, I think it's going to be a beautiful blanket. Ever since I got this yarn, I knew I wanted to use this stitch pattern. Like, I figured that out very quickly. But I kind of went back and forth. I originally thought I might do a tee version, like a t-shirt with this same stitch pattern. And then I decided to go with a blanket. And I'm so glad that I did, because I think it's just going to highlight all of the colors beautifully. I'm going to use it all the time. It's going to be so beautiful. So, I'll show it to you one more time. But yeah, I am so excited about it. I'm also going to be striping them, obviously. So I haven't quite decided on the sequence yet. I want them to be uneven, I think. So I'm going to do, like, I've done 4 rows of the green. I think I might pick up the pink and do, like, 2 rows of it. And then some more of the purple. And then more pink and green. I don't know. I want it to, like, all mix and match, though. And I think it's going to be super cute. I'm also using a size J hook for that, if you're curious. And I really like the gauge that I'm getting. At first, I was going to use, like, a 7 or 8 millimeter. J is 6 millimeter, by the way. So I thought I would use a bigger hook than that, but I decided not to, because I realized that my gauge was just a little bit too holy, for lack of a better term, with the larger hook. Like, something about, like, this stitch has 4 decreases and 4 increases, like, all next to each other, which is what creates the wave. So it's so cool how the stitch works, and it's really easy to read too, which is my favorite combination. But I think it's kind of important for it to be a tighter gauge with that stitch pattern. So, anyways, it's still very drapery though. Like, it's going to be a really, really awesome blanket. So, anyways, that is it for all of the yarning content for this episode. I do have a devotional and then a life update to share, so I hope that you choose to stick around for a few more minutes for that. So for devotional this week, I kind of wanted to just encourage you through what I have been encouraged by this week. I have been listening to a sermon series called Dateable by The Porch. Now, I'm not entirely sure what exactly The Porch is. Like, if it's at church or if it's like a retreat and they just kind of streamed these sermons and then posted them as YouTube videos. I'm not entirely sure. I have not dove into researching that. However, it's like a whole playlist on their YouTube channel, which is just called The Porch. I have not watched all of them yet, but I have finished 2 of the sermons, Is He Dateable and Is She Dateable? And it is very much, as you would guess, talking about relationships. And, obviously the subject is kind of centered around singleness and boyfriends and girlfriends and kind of navigating that situation as a Christian, as a follower of Jesus. But I would highly, highly recommend these sermons, even if you're married. Like, I just feel like there's so much that you can glean from them. They're so good. They're so encouraging. I have just felt so, I guess humbled and encouraged and just a sense of peace by watching them. Like, just everything's in God's timing. It's hard to still be single in a way. Like, it's a very vulnerable topic. I think it's one that I don't plan on talking a whole lot, obviously, on this channel or in this segment of the podcast, but I want to always be an encourager. That's my hope for this segment of the podcast in particular, but then just in all areas, whether it's through yarn or sharing the love of Christ, whatever it may be. I always want to be encouraging and uplifting to other people. And so if I can encourage other people in this season of life, if you're also in it, then how could I not do that? So anyways, I just wanted to share those sewments. I'm going to link them down in the description box below if you would like to check them out yourself. If you're a girl, I highly, highly recommend watching Is He Dateable, because it gives you so much information on what to look for, and it doesn't mean, what you should look for outwardly, what you should see, but what you should look for inwardly. How does that person hold themselves? Who are they following? Who, are they so chasing so hard after Jesus that they don't have you the center? Like, it's just, it was so encouraging. I hope that it encourages you as well. I would love to hear your thoughts on it if you do decide to watch those sermons. So don't hesitate to reach out to me via a YouTube comment or Instagram DM, or the best case would be an email to thegracefultangle@gmail.com. And it's so much easier to stay on track with those versus Instagram DMs right now. So definitely reach out that way if you don't mind. But they're so good. Again, I highly recommend them. There's endless other resources out there as well. I just myself have watched those this past week, and so I've been really, really encouraged by them. But again, no matter what season that you're in life, whether it's something that you can relate to me about, or maybe you are, much younger than me or much older than me, and your season of life just looks differently, whatever you're going through, just trust God, because His timing is perfect. And I firmly believe that there is a reason why you're in the season that you're in, and that there is so much that you can learn from it, so much that you can grow through it, and so much closer you can be to our Father because of it. And so stay confident in that, confident that He is still good and He is still on the throne, because He really and truly is. In terms of a life update, it has been a crazy week. I don't even know where to begin in terms of this week. It has not been a bad week. It's just been a crazy one. I started school on Wednesday. If you're new to the channel, I'm currently in college, but I am graduating in August. So I am in my very last semester. I'm taking 2 classes over the summer, and then I will be done. And I am so pumped. I'm so ready. I'm really, really excited. But I'm taking 2 more classes. And Wednesday they both started. And I'm just going to be honest, kind of everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. There was an issue with the scholarship that I received, and the money that was given. It wasn't the right amount, and so I was dropped from my classes on Wednesday due to non-payment, even though I wasn't supposed to pay anything. Anyway, so we had to figure all of that out on Thursday. There was an issue with a textbook that I purchased. That was not great. One of my classes, I'm only taking 2, guys. Only 2. One of them, there was an instructor change, so it was kind of, not difficult to figure that out. Like, it was out of my hands, but it was just interesting to navigate. Anyway, it has just been crazy, but every single thing is worked out now, and I am so excited to hop into this next week with, just a better sense of direction, and learn all I can through these classes and over the next couple of months before graduating in August. And I am very, very excited for that day. I'm looking forward to being done. But anyways, lots and lots of ways to grow during this season for sure. But yes, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. I hope that you are working on so many things that are bringing you so much joy right now. And I am so excited to see you all again next week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and check out all the links in the description box below. Until next time, happy making. Bye.